Hello everyone, GC De Guzman here once again for our daily top 5 gainers and top 5 losers analysis for September 17, Tuesday. And I'm going to prepare you for the next trading day on Wednesday rather, September 18. So, three reminders before I begin with the video. Number one, this is for short-term trading purposes only, even though you're going to hear some analysis for index companies. And number two, before you trade, before you enter a new position in any stock, make sure that the 10 SMACD combo is valid, the momentum power indicator is bullish, and that you are satisfied with your reward to risk ratio. When it comes to calculating your reward to risk ratio, the ideal position of the last price is that it should be closer to the immediate support than the immediate resistance so that you will get a better and a more attractive potential reward than your potential risk. And lastly, if you are interested in topping up or entering a new position in any of these 10 stocks that I'm going to discuss tonight, and if in case they start at a price lower or higher than the dominant range that you're about to see, make sure that you post a request for that stock's latest trade and volume distribution and true market sentiment charts inside the private clients forum. And I'd like to add this one as well, that no matter how bullish our data-driven analysis is, make sure that you apply a trailing stop loss because it's not impossible. In other words, it's very possible for the stock to go south by the next trading day, even though the 10 SMACD combo is valid, even though the momentum power indicator is bullish. So our trailing stop loss is our protection so that we don't sell too early, so that we don't buy too early as well. We don't top up too early. Okay, so let's begin with the first stock today. We got SMPH. It closed today at 35.4, support is at 34, resistance is at 36.7. The 10 SMACD combo remains valid. Foreign investors registered a net foreign selling worth 28.5 million pesos. That's a bearish signal. Today's volume is higher than the 50% of SMPH's 10-day volume average. VWAP is lower than the last price. Those are good signals. Risk level remains low. The positive DMI is hovering the negative DMI. ADX is at 23 points. Okay, so let's take a look at the trade and volume distribution chart here. The dominant range is closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. It's between 34.15 to 34.6. But let's take a look at the closing price yesterday, 34.65, 34.10. So in this particular case, the momentum power indicator is bearish because the dominant range is closer to the intraday low than the intraday high. So the true market sentiment or the mood of the top 10 brokers is bearish today. I see no signs of a huge interest to buy SMPH at a higher price, closer to the intraday high. I did not see any data-driven signals for such kind of a sentiment. So meaning to say, even though the 10 SMACD combo is valid, the momentum power indicator is bearish. This is my advice. If you have SMPH already, and if your trailing stop loss is still below the last price, I suggest that you hold your position. Do not top up yet. Top up once the momentum power indicator is bullish. If you are planning to enter a new position, I suggest that you postpone that plan because there's still a possibility for SMPH to just move sideways, within this week. What do I mean by that? There's a possibility for it to just move back and forth between 34 to maybe up until 36, 34 to 35.7, somewhere within that range. So postpone the plan of topping up, postpone the plan of entering a new position. At least while the momentum power indicator is bearish for SMPH. So next, Jollibee. Has it already recovered? Let's see. The 10 SMACD combo is valid, finally, after more than a week of having an invalid 10 SMACD combo. Foreign investors registered a net foreign buying worth 72 million pesos. The last price is higher than the VWAP. That's a good sign. Let's find out if the momentum power indicator is bullish in a few seconds from now. Risk level is low. The positive DMI is still below the negative DMI, and that means JFC is still inside the bearish territory. It's not that far yet from the bearish territory. So anyhow, let's find out if the dominant range is closer to the intraday high than the intraday low. With respect to the closing price of 230.6, which is the intraday high, I would say that the dominant range is closer to the intraday high than the intraday low. That's a bullish momentum power indicator, meaning to say there's a data-driven basis for us to interpret that as a signal that the ascent in price is more likely to continue. But then again, make sure that you are on top of your trailing stop loss, because no matter how bullish is our forecast for the probability for the ascent in price to continue, there's still a possibility for the price to contradict that data-driven sentiment. Not because I said that I saw a valid 10 SMACD combo, not because I said that I saw a bullish momentum power indicator. It's not a license for me to expect that the price will certainly move towards the northward direction. No, it doesn't always have to be that way. Sometimes, again, the price or the market contradicts our data-driven sentiment, and that's for that reason we employ a trailing stop loss. Just in case we are wrong, we're not going to risk more than what we can only realistically handle. And the analysis is not about being right. It's not all how I wish I can always be right, but that's not the main objective here. The main objective of being a data-driven analyst is to reduce the risk, not to eliminate it. Okay? To have a calculated risk. Now, the true market sentiment for JFC is neutral. My overall sentiment here is, as far as our technical indicators are concerned, I am already bullish on JFC. So if you are satisfied with your reward to risk ratio based on the support, which is at 217.6 and the resistance at 239.35, then you can do a test buy within the dominant range. Now, if you already entered a new position today on JFC, and if you are planning to top up tomorrow, you can also do that. You can top up within the dominant range that you see on this traded volume distribution chart of JFC. Okay, so next, APC. It closed today at 0.65. It broke above the previous resistance at 0.63. Let me zoom this in so we can see the immediate resistance. It is near 0.77. Okay, 0.77 right there. The 10 SMACD combo is valid. I'd like to emphasize that the alignment of the three simple moving averages is in a perfect bullish position. And unfortunately, the 10 SMACD combo is not yet valid because the MACD line is still moving below the signal line, but I'm seeing a bullish convergence between the two lines already. Volume is obviously higher than the 100% of the stock's 10-day volume average. The last price is higher than the VWAP as well. Risk level, on the other hand, is already extremely high. This is not for newbies. The positive DMI and the ADX score signal that it's a confirmed strong upward momentum. Let's find out if the momentum power indicator is bullish. Oh yes, it is, because the dominant range is closer to the intraday high than the intraday low. Yep, The true market sentiment, on the other hand, is bearish. So, eyes on your trailing stop loss. That's already an indication of a possibility for profit taking to to happen above 0.65 before it touches a 0.77, or maybe between 0.65 to 0.70. So I'm not saying you should use 0.70 as your target selling price. No, we don't embrace that kind of strategy here. We don't set or identify a predefined value or percentage as to where we should sell. You know that we only sell once our trailing stop loss gets hit, so that we can maximize our potential earnings. Um, but just be on top of your trailing stop loss. Do an upward adjustment whenever necessary, and you know when you should adjust your trailing stop loss, and that is when the prevailing price registers a higher price. But don't do an upward adjustment when the prevailing price goes down. Okay? So if you have a position in APC, I suggest that you hold your position for now. Now, tomorrow, if it registers another green candlestick, I suggest that you post a request for APC's latest trade and volume distribution and true market sentiment chart in our private clients forum. I repeat, the momentum power indicator is bullish, but the 10 SMACD combo is not yet valid. So you have to be risk averse, meaning to say you have to be a little bit conservative on your sentiment for APC if you have it. If you are planning to enter a new position, remember that you can only skip or preempt the validation of the 10 SMACD combo if your answer to these two questions is a yes. If your answers to these two questions are a yes. Number one, is the momentum power indicator bullish? Yes, it is. Second question, do you regard yourself as an experienced and a disciplined trader? If it's a yes, but since you are yet to enter a new position, of course, you have to calculate your reward to risk ratio first. But by the looks of the position of the last price relative to the immediate support and resistance, I would say that you're going to get an attractive potential reward because it's closer to the immediate support than the immediate resistance. But we will go back to what I mentioned a few seconds ago, that at this point you are better off waiting for the 10 SMACD combo to become valid and for the true market sentiment to show a bullish true market sentiment for APC. Again, that is if you are planning to enter a new position on APC. Okay, let me repeat that. If you have a position on APC and your trailing stop loss has not been hit yet, you're better off holding your position for now. Don't top up. If you are planning to have a new position on APC, meaning to say you don't have APC yet, I suggest that you wait for the 10 SMACD combo to become valid. Okay? Alright. After APC, let's discuss ALCO. It closed today at 0.97, support is at 0.86, resistance is at 1.03. The 10 SMACD combo is valid. Foreign investors registered a net foreign selling worth 47,000 pesos. Risk level is moderate. And volume is higher than the 100% of ALCO's 10-day volume average. The last price is also higher than the VWAP. Now, let's see here. Okay, so it's a bullish momentum power indicator because the last price, or the dominant range, is closer to the intraday high. Closer to the intraday high than the intraday low. Okay, now the true market sentiment is neutral, so that's not an issue. It's a neutral one. That's not an issue. So if you happen to have ALCO and if you're planning to add more shares, then you can go ahead and do that within the dominant range. But eyes on your trailing stop loss because there's a possibility for profit taking to be the favorite action once the price crosses 0.99 or 1 peso per share, which is in confluence with the 61.8% retracement of the up Fibonacci. And that's the golden ratio. Classical belief tells us that whenever the price hits the golden ratio or the 61.8% retracement or extension, of the Fibonacci, the price's direction usually bounces away. The operative word here is usually. I did not say always. Okay? That's why do what you have to do. Do what you need to do with your trailing stop loss, like what I have been teaching you here. Okay? So now if you're planning to enter a new position, you know the drill. Calculate your your reward to risk ratio first. As far as the technical buy signals are concerned, they are already present. Valid 10 MACD combo, bullish MPI, they are present. All you have to do now is to answer the question on your own. Are you satisfied with your reward to risk ratio? And in our private clients forum, there are so many threads already in there where I explained how to calculate your reward to risk ratio and why you should calculate it. Use the search feature of the forum. Type in reward space to space risk space ratio or reward dash to dash risk, and then you'll see several threads whereby I answered so many questions regarding that topic. Okay, so after ALCO, SurePass. It closed today at 1 peso per share. Support is at 0.91, or we can say 0.88. Resistance, let me plot the line right here. Okay, that's a resistance at the 1.12. Support is at 0.88. The 10 MACD combo is still valid. Volume is higher than the 50% of excess of SurePass's 10-day volume average. And let's see, VWAP, 0.99. The last price is still higher than the VWAP. Risk level is moderate. It's about to become high. And the true markets, the trade and volume distribution is, or it tells us that the dominant range is closer to the intraday high than the intraday low. But hold on, by a few decimal places here, it shows that the VWAP is higher than the last price. So, in that case, I am going to tell you not to top up yet and not to enter a new position yet. There's still a possibility for the price to move sideways. There's no strong signal that tells me that the ascending price is more likely to pierce the resistance at 1.12. So for me, it's more like the possibility here is in favor of the sideways movement. The true market sentiment is also neutral, so there was also no strong appetite to buy X by a significant level today. Okay, don't top up, don't enter a new position yet. It's a bearish momentum power indicator. So after SurePass, we move on to BDO. So this is now the beginning of the top 5 gainers in today's video. It closed today at 137.4. It broke below the previous support at 140.8, which is now acting as its immediate resistance. And the immediate support is at 123.9. Foreign fundies registered a net foreign selling worth 172.4 million pesos. The 10 SMACD combo, actually it has been invalid for a long time already. Since when? Since July. Okay, so and risk level is still low, but it doesn't mean you should enter a new position on BDO just because it has a low risk level. Okay, we have to check. Remember, if you attended the Evergreen Strategy Seminar, you have to consider lessons 2, 3, and 4. Okay? Brush up on your handouts. I know that I always mention about lesson 6 whenever I record a video, but in this case, I suggest that you also review lessons 2, 3, and 4 on your handouts. So here, VWAP, as you can see here, the last price is lower than the VWAP already, so it's automatically a bearish momentum power indicator. Today's top 10 players true market sentiment is neutral. No strong sign of of an interest to buy the dips by a significant level. So I am bearish on BDO. So don't enter a new position, and I hope none of you need my advice on what you should do on your BDO, especially if you entered a new position in the last week of July. Because since then, I have not seen confirmed strong buy signal on BDO, at least for short-term trading purposes. Okay, I remain bearish on BDO. Next, PHEN. Okay, so PHEN closed today at 2.65. Support is at 2.5, which is in confluence with the 78.6% retracement of the up Fibonacci. Resistance is somewhere near 3 pesos, 3 peso per share. And let's see here. Foreign investors registered a net foreign buying worth 1.4 billion pesos. The 10 SMACD combo is already invalid. Risk level remains low, or no longer low. It's already a moderate risk level. So here, is it more likely for the descent in price to continue? Well, apparently based on the volume and the downtrend in price, I think it's in favor of the bears. But let's confirm here. Oh, yes, it is. It's a bearish momentum power indicator, meaning to say the downtrend in price is still more likely to continue, and that sentiment is being backed up by the bearish mood of the top 10 brokers today also. Even though 39% of today's participating brokers registered 100% buying activity, um, our indicators suggest that we should be in a risk-averse position on PHEN, meaning to say we should be conservative at this point, especially if you are planning to enter a new position. So postpone that plan. And if you happen to have PHEN and if your trailing stop loss has not been hit yet, I strongly suggest that you preempt it by recalculating your trailing stop loss with a downgraded percentage of risk. That's written in the lesson number 6 on your handouts. For those who attended the Evergreen Strategy in Trading and Investing the Philippine Stock Market Seminar, which, by the way, we will have it on September 28 in Makati. That's Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 in the afternoon. If you are a 1-year subscriber at Equilist Analytics, I suggest that you buy your ticket and so that you can get a 50% discount. If you are a 6-year or 6-month subscriber, you will get a 30% discount on your ticket. If you are a 1-month subscriber, you will get a 10% discount on your ticket. Okay? So I've given everyone a discount already so that you will have lesser and lesser reasons why you should not be able to attend this one. Okay? This seminar, this evergreen seminar. So I am bearish on PHEN. Don't enter in a position and don't top up. And for those who already have it, I suggest that you preempt your trailing stop loss by recalculating your TSL. So after PHEN, we will talk about NIKL. It closed today at 4.10. Support is at 3.87. Resistance is at 4.9. The 10 SMACD combo is already invalid. Since when? Since yesterday. Risk level is already high. This is not for newbie friendly at this point. This is not a newbie friendly stock anymore. But that's what I meant. Okay? Volume. Let's see volume here. There's not much volume for the past 2 trading weeks on nickel. So for me, this means that the descent in price or the price's direction is more likely to form a sideways pattern. And that's what I see as well on the positive and the negative DMI lines right here. It seems that they are forming a parallel line, intertwining. They're about to intertwine with each other, but at this point, it's more like they're more like signaling uh, a sideways movement or a consolidation phase for nickel at this point. Okay, so in other words, if you'd like to ask me, is nickel more likely to continue moving to the bottom, or it's more like registering a sideways pattern? I would suggest that I would say it's the latter. It's more likely to move sideways at this point, but it's a bearish momentum power indicator. And the true market sentiment is also neutral, no strong appetite to buy the dips, as you can see on the size of the volume. Okay, relatively speaking, this is a low volume stock, and you heard me speak about it in the past videos that I'm not interested in trading stocks with volume related concerns with some irregularities or inconsistencies on the size of their daily volume. So stay away from nickel for now, and I hope none of you have nickel. If you have it, hold your position if your trailing stop loss has not been hit yet. Okay, just hold your position but don't average down. Okay, next, KPPI. It closed today at 11.2. It remains moving inside the sideways pattern. And what did I say before? I am not interested in trading stocks that are in a range. Range. I am interested in trading stocks that are either already moving in a trend or are poised to register a trend. Range versus trend. Okay? Support is at 9.8, resistance is at 12.32. Okay, both of which are in confluence with the 23.6% and 38.2% retracements, respectively, of the up Fibonacci. Foreign investors registered a net foreign buying worth 237 million pesos. No, not million, thousands only. Okay, thousands only. At this point, I'm already bearish on KPP. I'm still bearish on KPPI. Okay, I did not give my comments about the historical volatility, MACD, and DMI because that's not applicable yet. I mentioned in my previous videos that I will only talk about those oscillators after the 30th trading day of KPPI since it debuted in the Philippine Stock Exchange during the IPO. Okay, so even if the true market sentiment is bullish, my overall sentiment remains bearish for KPPI. Stay away from KPPI for now. So last into today's video is PPG. It closed today at 9.2. Support is at 9.04 or 9 peso flat. Resistance is at 10.7. Support is in confluence with the 78.6% retracement of the Fibonacci. Foreign fundies registered a net foreign selling worth 727,000 pesos only. The 10 smack day combo is already invalid. Risk level is moderate. And even though the ADX is above 60 points and the positive DMI is hovering the negative DMI, hold on. Before I drop my overall sentiment, let's take a look at the VWAP. Oh no, the last price is already less than the VWAP, and that's a bearish momentum power indicator. And the top 10 brokers are not in the mood to buy the dips today. So this is what I will say. This is what I say. If you have PPG and your TSL has not been hit yet, it's better for you to recalculate your trailing stop loss by reducing the percentage of risk in your equation, in your formula. Okay? Adjust. I'm not saying disrespect your trailing stop loss and sell right away. No, just adjust. Do some adjustments on your trailing stop loss. If initially you apply the 10% risk, you might want to recalculate it now by only applying maybe 7%, maybe 8% risk tolerance in comparison to the previous 10%. Okay, that's in lesson number 6. And if you are planning to enter a new position, no, this is not the right time to think about that. Okay, so there you go. That's my analysis, interpretation, recommendations for these 10 stocks for September 17 in preparation for the next trading day on Wednesday, September 18. Again, my name is JC De Guzman. Have a great day.